And that was something that I took from when you were talking at the breakfast, and you took action early. How pivotal was that early detection in, like, your overall outcome, do you think?
Well, I think it was essential. I mean, early detection is what we want for everyone. In
Mhm.
my case, the doctor I had, and this is just luck that I happened to have this doctor because this is not common at all. I went in for birth control, when I was 36, and she just said, I like to offer my patients in their mid 30s a baseline mammogram. This is something that used to be recommended for maybe about 10 or 11 or 12 years, I think in the 70s and 80s. And then it kind of fell out of favor, fell out of the recommendations. But this particular doctor was of the mindset that she wanted to give her patients, information. She wanted to do that baseline. A baseline is really just your first mammogram, right? Something that
Right.
you can compare future mammograms to. But most doctors don't offer it in your mid 30s because that's no longer part of the guidelines. So I consider myself extremely lucky that I happened to have this doctor, but also lucky that I said yes, because
Mhm.
when I went to go interview her later for the documentary project I'm working on, I found out that not only do most doctors not do that, and part of it might have to do with whether insurance will cover it and that sort of thing. But most patients who are offered, most of her patients, my doctor's patient, my former doctor, don't say yes because they say, well, it's not in my family. I'm young. It's not in my family. I don't need to worry. And unfortunately, and this is not to scare people. It's just a fact. You can get breast cancer at any age. You can get breast cancer at 18, 19. You don't have to be 50 or 60 to be diagnosed. And so me being a journalist, and someone who just, I wanted to have an answer, but
Right.
I did not think. I was like, sure, I'll do this. I'll have a baseline. I'll have something to compare it to down the line in 5 years or 10 years. Because back then it was the guidelines were like start at 45, I think, or 50 even, I'm not sure. But yeah, I said yes. And I'm so glad that I did, because stage zero, there's some controversy about whether, how should you handle stage zero? Should you watch it? Does everyone who has DCIS, cancer in the milk ducts, are they going to eventually have invasive cancer? In my case, I had relatively small breasts, maybe B cup or small c, and it was considered. My doctor called it extensive DCIS. So that meant that it wasn't just in one little area; it was in a sort of over a large kind of part of the
Mhm.
southern hemisphere of my breast. And so I kind of felt at the time that, and my doctors felt, first of all, you're young. Cancer is often more aggressive in young women. It's also, for some reason that we don't entirely understand, often more aggressive in Black women. So I was young and Black. That was two strikes against me in that case. And so they really encouraged me to be as aggressive as I was comfortable being. And so I did that. Now, it did come back. Who knows what that, maybe there were a few bad cells left. I just had the bad luck for it to come back. But the thing is, once you're diagnosed, you're then ideally under really good surveillance. So you're going
Right.
in, repeatedly to do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're going to be okay. And for me, though, it wasn't so much that surveillance. It wasn't going to the doctor for a physical breast exam, but it was me, myself. I was feeling, and I felt what felt like frozen peas in the same breast, in the same area, really. And I'm like, no way. This is ridiculous. This cannot be. And of course, you go to the doctor, and I hear this a lot, and I hear this from people a lot. My doctor was like, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine." And I'm so glad. It's nice that doctors want to
Ease you.
calm you down. But the truth is, how are they going to know? You know what I mean? Like, I was okay, fine, but I still want to find out the answer. And so we did a biopsy, and that's when I found out that I had cancer again, and that this time it was invasive. So it wasn't just going to be surgery; it was going to be chemotherapy for 4.5 months, and then 7 weeks of radiation after I recovered from all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, but if you hadn't gotten that original baseline mammogram, and you wouldn't have found out that you had DCIS, and then you wouldn't have maybe been so in tune with it at 39, and who
Absolutely. I
knows,
shudder to think about it. I really do. I don't know. I mean, you don't know what you didn't do, right? But
Right.
I can't help but feel like, okay, well, would I still be here? Because, would I have thought about breast cancer screening at 40 or 45? How long was it growing at 36? So, I feel very lucky that I caught it, and that I treated it, and that I caught it again and treated it again.